equipment. Hopefully you guys found some pretty cool stuff. All the information that you need is in your goodie bag. So if you need, and my contact information, most of you guys have. If you don't, you know how to reach me. This is a pretty cool presentation that Dave's going to do.
Come on up front.
It's only about an hour, and we've done it throughout the nation. It's kind of really picked up with several school districts. So this is kind of stuff that we can do and tailor it to all your employees, your staff as well. So Dave, who's going to be doing this, he's been in the industry for 85 years. He invented the mop. So he's going to have lots of good information for you guys. So again, thank you very much, and without further ado,
Let me get my cane out here. Maybe I can do this. 85 years. Jeez. Thanks, guys. Ladies. So, I told him, I said, so you're going to feed them pizza, and then you expect me to keep them awake for another hour. And you're not used to sitting down for an hour, right? Right? How many people are used to eating and sitting down?
Eating?
Yeah, eating's okay. But what we do, we eat, and then we run, and we are doing something. So, how many people clean a toilet professionally this week? Oh, wait a minute, it's summertime. We're not doing that, right? Okay, so it should be, how many people stripped the floor this week? Ah, there it goes. How many people actually started their cleaning career as their first job? Wait a minute, am I by myself? That's why I've been doing it 85 years. In this industry, there's hardly any of us that ever started. Okay, wait a minute. Up front. No back row ceiling. Got to be up front. Back 2 rows are off limits. Up here. So, the thing about it is most of us don't choose to be a custodian as our first job, first career job. Right? I did. I'll tell you more about that later. But how many people here feel that they get the respect that they should have? Yeah. Yeah. How many think they should get more respect for what they do? And see, that's where it's all different, right? So, what we're going to do in this next hour or so is we're going to talk about us. Now, I know that we've talked about product and equipment and supplies. That's why we're here today. But for the next hour, we're not going to talk about products. We're not going to talk about supplies. We're not going to talk about how to do something. I'm going to talk about you. Now, first of all, let me introduce who I am. My name is David Thompson. I am an ISSA accredited certification trainer. And what does that mean? Not much other than, in order for me to do my job, I have to have a certificate. I have to take classes. I have to maintain my certificate. What's called accredited cleaning professional development, right? So this might be a start of some professional development for you. Now, I run the Academy of Cleaning Excellence, which is housed at Gym Supply. It's a service of Gym Supply. But as John said, I travel the whole country with this. 2 weeks ago I was in Texas. In March I was in Baltimore. Last week I was in Nassau, Bahamas. Yeah, well, people say that and I go, yeah, you should have stayed with me. We started polishing marble at 9 o'clock at night, got finished at 4 o'clock in the morning. We stayed in the hotel the whole time polishing marble. But this is universal. That's what we're going to show you today. Now, I did write a book, kind of one of those things you got to do if you're in my profession. And by the way, this is my granddaughter right here in the mop bucket. Hey, as she grew up, what would we have? All these colored moving things in the building, right? By the way, she loves the water. The mop bucket had water in it. Hey, go picture. She just really likes the fact that I do this now. She's 11 going on 20. So, I want to see everybody with their cell phone. Come on, I want to see your cell phone. Pull them out. I know you all have because I've been watching you, see? You didn't know I was going to watch you. I was setting things up, right? Now, what does normally a speaker tell you about this time of the turn it on? What? Turn it on. What's going on? Can't you guys can't you follow directions? I told you to turn your cell phone on. What are you still looking at me for? You don't believe me? I want you to go to this address. Do not go to .com. Do not go to the app. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out if you can follow directions here. Kahoot.it. Don't go to anything else. If you do, it's going to screw the game up for you. Not me. For you. Now, what you're going to find is when you get there, you're going to have this screen come up and it's going to want a PIN number. Why are you smiling? Your kids do this at school? You ever seen this? Oh, no. We got a flip phone here. We got a flipper. You can't believe how many times I go to doing this, and there's always somebody with a flip phone. And they go, I can't play. Well, I'm sorry. Okay. You guys, off limits? Up here. You for it? Up here. You got empty chairs up here. Come on up. Anybody there? Kahoot.it. Ah, you went to .com, see? I said Kahoot.it. You're there, I can see you're there, I can see you're there. There you are. Okay. We got some of them. Okay, you guys that are on the phone, help some of the other people that aren't there yet. Ah, you got it. Okay. Now, when you get to the game pin, I'll give it to you in a minute. It's going to ask you for a nickname. Do not use a nickname. Use your first name. I'm going to go to the game now. I'm going to start it. You're going to get a PIN number.
Don't look at me. Only reason I got that is some game change carriers.
Okay, there's your PIN number. 852990.
That's what I use it for.
Now remember I said put in your name, not a nickname. Dave's up there. I didn't know I was playing.
No, put your real name.
Mitch, Richard, Bob, Jim, Chris. Well, look, we're getting some people up here. You didn't go to .it. And you didn't know that we were going to be playing this, right? Yeah, see, now the young guy's got to help him, huh? Yeah. You're in? Okay, you're in. Okay, you're in. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's here.
You gotta just look at somebody else phone.
Now wait a minute. Hold it. Booger is not a first name. I was going to say something else, but
What a name it is.
so that means, hey, listen to me. Are we all supervisors here? Apparently some supervisor can't follow directions. You hear what I'm saying? Now, you actually told me already that you don't get the respect you deserve, and you're also already realizing somebody can't follow directions. Why are we laughing about
That's funny. That's us.
No, because whenever I said it, he started laughing. I don't know who it was. Oh, okay. I have had Chewbacca come up here. And Mr. Clean. Of course, I like Mr. Clean, but hey. See, what we're doing here is we're already learning about whether people can follow directions. If we want respect, folks, we have to be able to do this. Now, at lunch, I was sitting there, and some people wanted to walk into this room and bring food in. I said, no, you can't do that. Sign says no food. They said, oh, well, the kids do it. Does that mean it's okay for us to do it? You see what I'm saying? Set example. So, we got 31 of us. Let's go ahead. We're just going to play kind of a warm-up game here to start with. So you're going to use the color or the symbol on your phone that matches the answer that's right up here. So no matter what sport it is, which one of these keeps the other team from scoring? Got 17 seconds. So once everybody's answered, it'll quit spinning. So just, yeah, I know, it's spinning. Until everybody's answered, it's going to tell you if you did it right or not. Okay. So I'm not sure, but 30 people are right. The other 3 need to figure out what's going on. Well, it's a slip of the thumb, right? Yeah, the thumb got in the way. All right. D-R-E. I think there should be another letter that makes it, right?
2 letters.
Okay. So which weighs more, 100 pounds of rocks or 100 pounds of feathers? Okay, we got about 10 seconds left. Get your answers in.
They were the same amount.
We'll stand over here and see if anybody gets right.
You were good at games, weren't you?
I'm sorry, but 100 pounds is 100 pounds, folks. Now, where's those red X's at? Where's those red X's at? Oh, there's the one. You get it. Where's the red X at? I see a red X. Oh, there's one. Wait a minute. No wonder we don't get no respect. We don't know.
I do.
All right.
I tried to help other people.
So you see how we're playing this? Now, here's one of the things you don't know. The faster that you answer the question, and the more you get right, the higher on the leaderboard you get. Because you're not on the leaderboard. Just gotta tell you. That's why this is a warm-up game. All right. What is the name of this car? Simple. Easy. I don't want to see what he has on this one.
Yeah, it should, but the younger generation probably.
Yeah, now we talked about that young element, right? We talked about that at lunchtime. Oh my gosh! Everybody got it right? Give yourself a round of applause. Well, that was kind of weak. Oh, you did very well. Okay, all right. All right. Here's our last question for the first session. There's your question right there. Now wait a minute. Now hold on, folks. There was 33 people on the board. Only 12 people answered that question?
Before I even went, the answer is just time's up.
What? What happened here? Time was up.
Like a second.
That's what it seems like to me.
I want to ask a question. Y'all are supervisors of a crew of people doing a job. What did we just get through doing? Questions and answers? Following directions? Listening? Or not? We were all together on the same page at the same time for the same reason. Okay? When was the last time your team actually got all together doing the same thing for the same reason? Not. Doesn't happen. And the reason I know that is because, why? We have a restroom that we throw all of this stuff at, and we still get restroom complaints about the way the restroom is. But we all can't get together on the same page to get the restroom cleaned right? Number one complaint in any facility is the restroom. It takes up 5% of the building, but we can't get it right. It's because we're not all together on the same page. So what we're going to do this afternoon is try to get you all together on the same page for one reason. Now, what you did, you played a little bit of a game. Is that what you expected to do? What did you expect? Go ahead. Uh-huh. I'm getting to that. Unfortunately, with all the lights on, it's a little hard to see. Guys in here. He was in there a little while. Mike Ward here wrote this book, Who Swings Your Mop? Mike's been in the custodial industry for 30 years. He has an HR degree, means human resources. And I read a little bit of his book, and I called Mike up and I said, let's not go that far. There you go. Thank you. I said, hey, what does the word custodian mean? I asked a question. What does the word custodian mean?
Cleaner.
Do you really know what the word custodian means? I mean, you've got all of these different words here. The problem is we don't really know what it means. So how can we expect the general public to know what we're doing if we can't articulate or we can't tell them what we're doing? Oh, I clean the toilet, I clean the windows, I clean the carpet. That's not really what we are. It's what we do. That's not who we are. So I looked up the word that says a person who has responsibility or looks after something. Now, I don't know about you, but I got a feeling that means something of importance. Would you agree? So, you need to know what the word means because the general public is actually thinking about we clean and maintain a building, which is the second part of that word. And then they add the word just in front of custodian, and then it has no meaning at all. So if I say you're just an electrician, does that mean you're a very good one? You say the thing is, you add the word just in front of any profession, and it degrades that profession. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the word custodian. Now, if you have a pencil and paper, you might want to write this down as we go. Because why? We're going to play a game, and it's questions and answers. If you have your phone that I told you could use, you can take a picture of any slide. So this is a way that you could review things later. Okay? So as I was going through Mike's book, I looked at it and I go, what does this mean? You know, I've been in this industry for a while. I figured I knew what the word custodian means. And I gave him what I thought the letter C would stand for. So let me ask you, what would the letter C stand for? Clean? Some other ideas? Conscientious? Caretaker? Caring? All of those are good answers, but as Mike said, those are the first wrong answers. Communication. Yeah, I agree with that. Here's the thing. If we as supervisors don't communicate correctly to our team, what can we expect? Well, pretty much what we do. Now, the thing is, communication isn't only one way. So one of the things that Mike talks about is that there has to be a good level of communication between everybody. Not just one person, not just one group, but at every level of our work we have to communicate correctly. So, to that point, we do not respond well to data. Somebody gives you a spreadsheet with a lot of numbers and graphs. What do? I don't have time to read that. I'm been a custodian most of my life, okay? You give me graphs and charts, and I'm like, okay, looks pretty, but what does it mean? I got toilet cleaning. Right? So is this the proper way to communicate to my staff? No. So I would say that a person that communicates with a bunch of data is probably not going to be a rock star. They're probably not going to get the effects that they're really wanting from their team. Okay? Now, the other thing is, I've got this whole group of people coming in. I got 500 people coming in, and I just walk up to you and tell you, you know what? You've got to do your regular job. You got to set up for this, tear it down, clean it up, and do your regular job on time and get out of here. How long ago did that happen to you?
Every day.
Yeah, on a regular basis, right?
Yeah.
This is not rock star material. That's not how we handle communication. Now, there's a lot of different ways in communication. Verbal and also our body language. We've got to be careful. We're the supervisory team. We communicate to people in all kinds of ways. I can't cover all of it this afternoon. But one thing Mike talks about is he said, what about these calendars? And I said, Mike, I've been using calendars all my life. I don't use that one now. I use it on my cell phone, right? We all live by the calendar on our cell phone, right? He says, the problem is not what type of calendar you use, but who you're communicating that stuff with. I looked at him and said, explain a little bit about that. He said, well, the thing is I want everybody to know what's on that calendar. I said, explain. He said, what about the bus driver, cook, the nurse, the assistant to the principal? What about the superintendent? I kind of looked at Mike and I was like, do we really want all of them to know all that? Or not? Think so? Do I really want to know all that? Because if I do let them know all of that, what do I got to do now? Better doggone well do it. I'm on the hook. You see, here's the problem. We're used to being a kind of out of sight, out of mind. But the problem here is we're creating our own problem. We're not communicating our value because nobody really knows what we're doing. So if I don't want those 500 people to come in on me, I need to communicate to everybody what's going on, how busy I am, and what I'm doing. Check with some of the other people in your environment and see how much they have to communicate everything that they do all the time. I can guarantee you the cooks know what their schedule is and they know what ingredients they have to have long before it comes that day to do it. Right? Yep. So just think about this. Okay. Let's go to the next letter. What would you be? Come on. Understanding. I'd say that's a good one. Obviously, that's not right because I didn't click, right? Unique. I kind of like that. I kind of feel like I'm unique. Next wrong answer, too. Utilize resources. What are you here for today? You're here to look at stuff. All of that stuff out there are resources, items for you to do your job. These are simply resources. And one of the ones I like is YouTube, Google. I don't know if you were watching it or not, but I saw a couple people. I have my YouTube videos running this morning. I've got hundreds of them. They're absolutely perfect. You should watch every one and follow every one to the letter. What did you laugh at me? I saw you right away. What's wrong with my videos? You see, the problem here is they're simply a resource. They're not an absolute. What's a resource? It's something so that you can gain knowledge, insight. Use those. Embrace them. Discuss them, because you might find some interesting information there, especially mine. What are you also doing today? Networking. All of the individuals that you talk with today, you're networking with them. You're finding out different things that they have. You're talking with them about their experiences. I had some ability to share some of mine with you. Have you ever thought about going to a different district other than your own and find out what they do? Because I guarantee you, they're fighting the same battle as you are. Oh, no, we can't do that. That's the crosstown rivalry. I've heard that. Oh, come on. You know, I'd much rather find out what they're doing than ask somebody. Here's the problem. This last one right here, don't be afraid to ask questions. The problem is, if I ask a question in front of somebody else, how does that make me look? Smart. More time than what you said. Stupid. The reason that most custodians don't want to ask a question is because they're afraid that they're not going to look as smart as somebody thinks they are. Oh, well, you should know that. I can guarantee you. You guys, I just met y'all for the first time today. But you're family. I'd much rather look stupid and ignorant and all those good things in front of you here today than in front of your superintendent. Agree? So why is it that we're so afraid to ask questions? Because questions is how we gain knowledge. What is the word that a 4-year-old child uses consistently? It has 3 letters. Why? You got a 4-year-old child? Why? What is wrong with us is after a certain point we forget to ask that question. Oh, we already know everything, right? Why did you come here today if you already knew everything? My point? So, don't be afraid to ask questions, find out why. Utilize the resources. Okay, number 3. What's this one? Safety. Third wrong answer. Security. Next wrong answer. Satisfaction, good, but still. Pretty soon you're going to quit guessing, right? I mean, this is what I was going through. I've been in this all my life, and I'm like, I couldn't get one right, just like you. And I was like, come on, Mike. Yeah. Service. Two others. Service to others. We'll see if we can get the next one right. But you think about it. If you're a custodian in a public education facility, what is it that we're here for? This is what we're here for. Because if you need to understand and embrace this. This is what we do. I mean, we're here to service those people in that facility. So I'm going to zoom in here on this picture just a moment. What is this gentleman doing? What'd you say? Servicing? No. I thought you were going the right way. I was hoping you had the right answer to start with. What's he doing? Servicing others. Everybody wants to look at the fact that he's cleaning or disinfecting the doorknob. No, 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 no. What he's doing is he's protecting the health of those students. He's servicing others. Folks, what did I try to do this afternoon? The very first thing. I want you all to get together on the same page. When somebody says, "What are you doing?" What is your response?
Service.
One more time.
Service.
This has to be our unified response when somebody says, "What are you doing?" I'm not cleaning the toilet, washing the window, cleaning the carpet. Because they feel like everybody can do that. They feel that they already know how to do that. They are not going to expect you to say that you're servicing others. Now, question, what was that? And now you've given me an opportunity to tell you everything I know. Now I have value. Because as long as they feel that they already know what you're doing, they're making their own assumption. But when you ask me, "Why are you doing that?" Oh boy, you just gave me the opportunity to talk your leg off. Because until you ask me that question, I can't explain and add value to who I am. If we're not getting the respect that we need, it's time for us to open our mouth and start saying the right things so that we can answer the right way. All right? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here?
Yes.
So, this is what we do. We service others. I have all kinds of courses. I have one's called risk management. Just think about it. We manage the risk for other people to live. Now, that's not something you normally say. I'm full of all these things that we don't normally say because I want somebody to ask a question of, "What?" That's why. So, how many people have actually been cleaning your classroom and they get interrupted? Every day. Yeah, and the way that you just did that was, okay? You didn't have to say anything, but your body language told me exactly what you thought about that. Here's my point. When somebody interrupts you, look at this as a way of giving. Because now they've given me a reason to talk about my value. Never thought about it that way, huh? Oh, I've got, are you guys down to the 13 minutes per classroom? 8? 8? Oh, yeah, 8 or 13. So the thing here is when they interrupt you, you're going, "Oh gosh, I can't get my room done, I can't get this done." I told them to turn it on, I don't have a problem with it. But you see, here's the thing. When you get interrupted, think about, how am I going to respond to this situation? What can I do that's a positive instead of a negative? I was going to come in later. But remember this. All right. So, I know that today we can't hug and do this, right? Back in the day, back 85 years ago, we could do this. What I'm talking about here is the feeling. The feeling. You can't physically do this, right? But the feeling is, this is an importance to others. Now, how do I know this? Because I started my life in the professional field as a custodian. Whenever the superintendent walked in and had this big roll of keys, it says, "I understand that you know how to use these keys, where they all go." The custodian just had an accident and broke both legs. He says, "You're the guy." Yeah, it's 14. I started cleaning. Well, heck, I was Big Cheese. I had all the keys to all the building, man. Only thing is, I said, "What's in it for me?" He says, "I'll get you out of study hall." I said, "Try again." Yeah, study hall. Come on, go ahead. Big deal. He said, I'll get you a passing grade in Spanish. I grabbed the keys. I've been cleaning ever since. You know what's the funny part about that? My wife is half Mexican. Now, this is what we do. That person instilled in me a feeling. I don't know why. I don't know how. But I had a connection with that person. And it started me on my career. I am today what I am because that person gave me the ability to start that way. Don't know how, don't know why. It's a feeling about what we do. You do not know who you are influencing when you do your job and do it right and communicate it correctly. Whenever you're asking questions, you may actually be asking a question that somebody else wanted the answer to but was too afraid to ask. That's the way of giving. So, service to others doesn't mean people outside the building. It could mean our own family right here in this room. Do you understand where I'm going with this, folks? Or am I boring you to death? I know that we just ate and we're sitting down, but the whole thing is, make a difference. If you're a rock star custodian, or you're looking for that rock star on your team, this person makes a difference. Now remember, we're focusing on one person here this afternoon. Has anybody already, and I know you'd like to say you're the rock star custodian, I understand. But is anybody picking out already in their head, you've got a team member already, you're picking out, right? Don't tell me the name. Female or male? Female. You see, the thing is, you're starting to identify that person, not by popularity. Now, the Rockstar Custodian isn't a popularity contest. I mean, I've been in plenty of those, right? That's not what I'm talking about this afternoon. I'm trying to give you rock-solid foundation characters because you're going to lose your key person at some point. Right? Anybody ever lost that person? Last week. Now, the thing is, you've got to replace that person. What I'm doing this afternoon is I'm giving you the traits of the person that you're looking for. Does that make sense? So whenever you go to look to replace that person, this that I'm showing you this afternoon is a criteria that you want to look for. Is this person that's going to replace that the key person I want? Okay? Let's go to, well, wait a minute. Yeah, right there. That's it. T. I said Thompson, and Mike said, no, Dave, that's not right. I said, that's my last name, I like it. What's T stand for? Trusting, good. Thinking, what was the other one? No. I never got it either, so don't feel bad. So.
Time management.
Not one I would have thought of, but I completely understand. Now, I did not write this material. Do you think I have taken ownership of this material? Does it feel like it? You see, that's the thing. You don't have to actually have the material. It doesn't have to be yours. But you have to take ownership. You're the supervisor. And everybody else is going to look at you. And if you've got a wishy-washy attitude about something, I can guarantee you, it ain't going to work. So, whose attitude do we have to change? All right. So, okay, I'll give you a little bit. Get over the picture. I can't say that I've literally painted myself in a corner like that. But you know what? It's okay to make a mistake. Are we perfect?
No.
If there's a perfect person in the room, I want to talk with you. There's always somebody that gets pointed at. Yeah. Nobody's perfect, but ownership takes hold whenever we fess up to it, take responsibility for it, and just simply move on. Now, as a supervisor, you're not going to be perfect. Doesn't mean you shouldn't strive to be, but get over it. That's what happens. there's about 5 parts to this whole program. And the last one's how to be a rock star leader. Oh, it gets real fun. Do you have anybody that has that not my job mentality? It's funny how when I say that, it doesn't matter where in the country I go, I get the same response. Now, remember, I'm talking about your rock star custodian. That is not this person, right? No. That's everybody else. So now how and what do we do? Well, have you ever stopped to think about those people, those other ones that we just talked about? Where did they wind up? It was interesting. In Mike's book, he actually says they usually wind up in the class of a lazy janitor. Here's the problem. This is what everybody else thinks of us. And we let them think that. We don't do anything to dispel that. Case in point. Last year, I believe it was November, I was coming back from Dallas from the big trade show for the cleaning industry. There's literally thousands of us leaving the trade show at the airport, going up the escalator to go to our flights. And here's a lady standing over next to a trash can with a dust mop, picking one dust bunny off after another. Are you bored yet? Hundreds of us watching her do this, going up the escalator, and we're all going, what the heck? This is how people view us. The lazy janitor. Would you say that this guy's taking ownership of his school behind him? He's going to give you a fist bump like this, right? That's not, and he's proud of that fact. You have to be proud of your school, take ownership. This person's going to understand the importance, and they're going to take different actions. That rock star we're talking about doesn't wait for somebody else to do it, right? They're going to do it. They're looked at in a different light. We know who these people are. They don't ask for us to look at them in a certain way, do they? They just are, and we do, because we respect. This is the rock star custodian you're trying to replace. People that take ownership, move up in the ranks. You know what? Whenever I started cleaning back, like I said, when I was 14. I ran my own cleaning service a while back in the 80s. Moved into selling janitorial supplies. I started going and building my own educational courses. And now I travel the country teaching classes. Nowhere along that line did somebody say, hey, Dave, this is what we want you to do. I don't have a college degree. Matter of fact, I flunked the first year of college. Why? Because I want to be a custodian. What I'm trying to say is I'm nothing particularly great. I'm not anything better. I just chose to do what I wanted to do. Anybody can do it. The rock star custodian you're looking for is that person. You're not going to make them that way. They're going to do this on their own. This is who you're looking for. This person takes ownership of that building. They're a professional staff member. Impact on student achievement. That's what they know they're there for. You don't have to explain it to them. They already know that. Is she still in the running? Good. Okay, get your cell phones out. We're going to play a game. We're going to see how much you remember from the first 4 letters. Different PIN number. It's coming up here directly. By the time I get there, you should be able to get there too. Here comes your PIN number. We had 33 the first time. Okay, here we go. What does the letter C stand for? It's going to go a little quicker. Timing is as much. You know how to play the game. Time's going to go by fast. Can we all get together on the same page here with the right answer? Yes! Give yourself a round of applause. Communication. Well, you guys have just lost all your end. Yeah, happy about that. Well, Corey, where's Corey? Ah, Mr. Fastfingers. Mary? Okay. Well, I know who's competing is too now. Different sides of the room. Cool. What does the letter U stand for? Now, the faster you answer it, you're going to have to knock one of them off. So you got to have fast fingers. Oh, you did hit the wrong one, did you? You did. Do you mean that my time has been useless?
Couldn't see it.
Oh, couldn't see it. Oh, goodness. My thumb slipped and I hit the wrong button.
It's hard to see.
Come on, that's useless. I mean, how do you...
The glasses are useless right now.
Yeah, the glasses are useless. Anybody interested to see who's on top of the leaderboard now? Paul!
Oh, look at you, boy.
What the heck? What did you see? Oh, yeah, you got Young Gun over there helping over there.
I wasn't together.
Yeah, teamwork, see? There we go.
Is this one?
He's got good eyes.
What you this thing?
He's got good eyes.
Oh, okay.
What does the letter S stand for? Okay, now I can see all of us from back here. I tried to get everybody to move up front. And somebody blew it for the rest of us. Clean those glasses.
It's the pizza grease on it.
Paul and Mitch. Teresa, you can get there. Now, the more you answer correct in a row, the faster. So we got one letter left. What does the letter T stand for? Think hard. Answer quick. Did you hit the wrong button?
No, I was just trying to get it to work.
You're beating your phone over there? Transportation? Did I do something? Did I? You got to you're good. Oh, I've got a bus driver in here. Oh, what's the bus driver doing in here? Transportation. All right. Paul, where's Paul? Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, now, you've played 2 games. You see it went a little faster that time. Now, the last game's got 5 letters. You know what we're looking for. Now, on the next game, you're playing for something. Uh-huh.
That's motivation right there. Everybody getting them.
All right. Next letter is O. What is O? It is optimistic. This rock star custodian that we're talking about this afternoon has an optimistic nature. They are not going to say something like this. If I take 100 chairs and have to set them up and take them down, I can't get my rest of my work done. That's not an optimistic viewpoint, right? This is not my rock star. That's everybody else. Now, do you understand what I'm doing this afternoon? I'm separating one person out of your team. Everybody understanding this? I'm not talking about everybody else. What we do as supervisors, we think about everybody else is causing us problems, right? Am I worried about them this afternoon? No. And you're probably really confused by that. You have to go through the whole series of programs to understand where I'm going. Because we're only talking about the first one today. This session that you're going through right now is for all frontline staff members to hear. So the whole idea is that all of your staff would hear this presentation today. There's 3 sections that are only for supervisors. And I get into how do we deal with that rockstar custodian. Because once you identify it, now I got to deal with it. That's a whole different game. What I'm trying to get you to understand is we're trying to single out this one special person. Because as I said before, at some point you have to replace them. I know this why. Because I was an absolute great training ground for my competition. You wonder why? Because I trained them very well, but I couldn't hang on to them. They left me and went somewhere else because I wasn't doing my job right. So, what we need to do is, oh gosh, there he is. Sorry. Oh, Lord. What was that? Why did you say, oh, Lord?
That's right.
Ah, he's sleepy.
Oh, she said not in her building.
No, it looks like he like chilling and sleeping.
This is the janitor-minded people that everybody else sees. And here's the problem. Whenever one of these creeps up, and if you haven't dealt with one, I'm glad you haven't, but most of us have. More than once. Now what do we do? You know, I heard one gentleman say, his boss said, don't wake him up. Because when he wakes up, he's fired. As long as he stays asleep, he's on the clock. I thought that was an interesting way to put it. Not how I would have said. But you know, here's the thing. If we do not do something different, this is what people see. We are the only ones that can change this mentality. It's not a laughing, joking matter, although that's what we do. It's not. Because this is the way that people see us. If you're not getting the respect, this is why. Now, how do we keep that happening? I want that rock star custodian that stands out in that group. I want that standout person. I am going to key on that person. You have to come to the rest of the class to understand why. This person is optimistic. They are not a pessimist. I find it interesting as I travel the country, the first thing that comes up in the news that you need to know before you go outside in our city. 14 people were killed, 1 was murdered. We had a drive-by here. Really? I just came to your city. That's what I really need to know before I walk out of the building.
Might not walk out the early.
Yeah, I might not want to walk out of it.
Stand in the house.
So, at the core of this great person is an attitude that is optimistic. Everything is possible. My boss said yes. The answer to every question is yes. I just have to find a way to get there. So, I can, I will, no problem. Do you know who that person is? Do you have one of these people on your team right now? That's the person that you want everybody else to be like? Then focus on that person and not the rest of them. We all want to live a happier life, healthier life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're all here for. We have a job to do, but our whole purpose of having the job is so that we can live a healthy, happy life. So why not? I have 3 words. I have a podcast that I do. I'd be happy to put any one of you on the podcast anytime you want. My only requirement, we only talk about if it's healthy, positive, and proactive. If it's anything else like that, I won't talk about it. Just isn't part of what I do. All right? So let's go on. Where are we at? We're probably at D. What would D be? Well, Dave sounds pretty good to me. Oh. Dedicated.
Desire.
Desire.
Driven.
Driven.
What?
Driven.
Determination.
Determined. Now, see, you're starting to kind of get the flow of this. You're starting to, it didn't take too many guesses before you found the right one. You see what I'm trying to say here? You're starting to think. You're starting to really think about who this person is. This person is determined no matter what. They're optimistic, right? So, they're determined they're going to have a clean area and a clean school, right? Nothing's going to get in their way. I had one person, I cannot believe this, I don't even know if I went that far. On their way to work, their car broke down. They sat in their car, called Uber, and went to work. Car can be taken care of later. They made it to work on time because Uber got them there. I mean, of course, my day we didn't have that. It was 85 years ago. Somewhere along in those early years, the custodian leaned over, I'm sure, and got to know me. It was through this communication that I was able to grow into who I have become, along with a lot of other mentors along my path. What is a mentor? Somebody that helps you grow. You have the ability to be a mentor to people, not just the kids. There's a lot of people watching what you do, regardless of whether you think they are or not. And I don't mean because they got the TV screen back there with a security camera either. That's not what I was talking about. This gentleman here works National Guard. He's got stripes on his shoulder. He's reading a dinosaur book to the kids. I think he's highly overqualified. Do you think so? No. He's back in the school that gave him his start. A rock star custodian is going to give back to the community that helped them grow. Why am I doing this for you today? Because you are the family that I need to give this information to help you grow, because somebody helped me grow. That's why I'm spending my time with you today to do this. You see how we can help each other? I ran track. I have kind of a feeling for this guy out on the track. I ran the cross country and the mile race and the 440. What we do as a custodian is going to leave a mark. Couldn't believe how much of a mark it left until I actually took my wife back to that school where I started, and there was my trophy, and the lady knew who I was. I'm like, really? She goes, oh yeah. They're going to talk about you for years to come. You never know how, you never know what. Probably at the least time that you don't expect it. But what you think about, you bring about. If you don't think positive, you won't be positive. Neither will anybody else around you. You understand? This is not anything new. This is just trying to get you to focus on these certain things, because you've got to identify that person that you want to replace, the last one that left. Integrity. Goes right along with everything else, right? Doesn't it fall right in place? Because this person is going to be one that is going to do the job no matter who's looking. And I'm not talking the security camera, right? Just because the boss is coming in doesn't mean they're going to do a special job. They're going to do the same job no matter what. Is that person that you've been thinking about still hitting all the levels? Good. Now, as I did the research to build this program, remember, I just gave you the book. I had to build the program. I'm trying to research this. I found this gentleman here and this picture, so I went and researched it. This is janitor's day or custodian's day at this school. It took him 45 minutes to walk through the whole school of all the people that lined up on Custodian's Day, what would happen if you had Janitor's Day or Custodial Day? Could your rock star custodian get this? Oh, we don't have Custodian's Day. Maybe you should. They have a day for most everybody else. Oh, we can't do that. Well, then that's not a rock star custodian. You're not a rock star supervisor. You understand where I'm going? It's simple. This person is honest and trustworthy no matter what is going on. You can count on them, period.
That's crucial.
That's crucial.
That's crucial. And without that, I don't need it.
Right.
That's crucial.
This person chooses to be this way. They're not just that way by right. They choose to do this. It is by design. That's my rock star custodian. This is going to help me both personally and professionally. Because you're not going to change who you are just because you're at work. Right? Does all of this make sense? Because we're only at the last two letters here. Is all this lining up for you? My question to you right now, how many people have ever done this for you? See, that's the problem with our industry. We have custodian supervisors doing supervisory work, and we never taught us how to deal with people. It's different than cleaning a toilet. It's different than running one of those auto scrubbers. Oh, by the way, did you understand this? You're not in the cleaning business. You're a supervisor. You're not in the cleaning business. Did you know that? You're not in the cleaning business. You're in the people business.
Service business.
You are a supervisor. You manage and supervise people, not machinery, not window cleaning equipment. Right? You better be good at supervising people, or you will be without a job. So just get over the fact. You're not in the cleaning business anymore. You're in the people business. So any of the research, any of the development you do should be about people, not equipment. All the time you're spending about equipment, I'm not saying it's bad, but balance that with the same amount of time on how to deal with people. That's why I've got, this is a 5-part series. You know, as I went through this, I was looking at this. I live in a 38-foot motor coach, so that means my wife is not very far away. We've been together for a little over 20 years. She's been with me with all of the development of all these programs. And, you know, as I was developing this, she said, well, where's your bad spot? I don't know. She said, well, where's your good one? I go, oh, I found it. The letter A. And I can guarantee you what the letter A stands for is not the one that she picked up. But this is where I shine. So think about this as we went through this afternoon, folks. As a supervisor, if you were having to put yourself in that position, would you be able to hit every one of these? Where would be your room for improvement, and where would you be the best at? So as we did this, I've been talking about our frontline people. What about us? How would we rate ourselves? Well, this is where I found out I was really good, because I'm an analytical person. I analyze everything. I can tell you every picture that is put up here, every word that is put up here, is designed and put there for a reason. Now, sometimes that creates a problem for me as well. Because you can get too deep. And that's the reason my wife has another word for it. But an analyzer is a critical thinker. Now, what if we actually thought, now I mentioned restrooms, right, first? What if we really thought about why is it that we continue to have a problem with the restrooms? Why aren't we changing this? What are we doing? This critical thinker is going to think about things long before they happen. They're going to be focused on these situations that are coming up and what they're happening. Now, you're at summer cleaning. Now is not the time to think about why is their stripper in the wet dry back from last summer? Any of you already had to deal with that? No? Yeah, not no more. Yeah, I heard that, not no more. I've dealt with that. You go to use the wet back that's full of stripper sludge from last summer. Yeah, no wonder the motor doesn't work. It's all locked up. This person is ahead of that situation. That doesn't happen to the rock star. Right? The hand look before it happens. Why is it that we're putting out the same fire over and over and over? I'd rather prevent the fire rather than try to put the fire out. So I looked at this and I go, okay, so I hadn't really found my Achilles heel, the one I'm really bad at. I pulled this one up. My wife says, yep, there it is. Would you not, I mean, come on, I'm not an ogre. I'm not a huggy-feely type of who almost get warm fuzzy guy either. That's not what I'm talking about. Nurturing doesn't have to be that way, right? Nurturing can be a mental state of mind. We've talked about feeling all the way through this afternoon, right? It's the way people feel about who we are and what we do. Now, in this case, this lady happens to work at an animal shelter. She saw a child that had autism and recognized that the animal helped calm him down, brought in, and gave up herself and her time. That rock star custodian is going to take the opportunities to do things outside of the realm of their work. Didn't have to do it. And that's that nurturing feeling that happens. Now, at some point, I'm going to be in the rocking chair. You hear, John, I guess I should already be there. But I'm not going to be in the library. I'll probably be in the IT room, with computers and technology and stuff around me. We were talking at lunch. I think that's probably where we're all going to be very soon. But what are we doing outside the school setting to help our community, to help our fellow workers, help our family? Now, it's all about the feeling. No, we can't hug like this. But I am so grateful to that gentleman that helped me set on the path that I've had for the last 45 plus years. Because his ability to nurture me gave me the ability to take those keys and run with them and make a career for myself. The thing here is these character traits that I've just pointed out to you this afternoon, they're the 9 character traits of a rock star custodian. This is what people respect. Every single one of these that we hit this afternoon are things that people respect us for. If you now know these and you use these, and the next person that you put in place in your team, the one that you key on, would have these traits, what would that do for your work environment? Oh, there's no way I can get a whole team of those. Well, you're not a rock star leader then if that's your opinion. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to say you're not a rock star leader. The mission that we have, both Mike and the Academy, our mission is to help custodians have pride and excel in their profession. I started this afternoon by saying, do you get the respect that you deserve? And you said no. Maybe it's that we're not doing the right things. Maybe if this is what we're looking at, maybe we could. Get your phone out, let's play our last game, and see who wins something. while you're doing this, there are 5 parts to this series. The next one is how to build a rock star family. We do not talk about teamwork, we talk about family. Whole different way of doing it. Both of those, this session and that one, are for everybody. Then I go into the supervisory sessions, which are how to supervise a rock star custodian, how to supervise a rock star family, and how to be a rock star leader. Hopefully we can bring it to your school in a bigger, different way. You might have saw the picture with everybody there. We do this, I think we did this last fall for Osceola schools. We're like 300, 400 people in the auditorium. We did it for all at one time. I can tell you, these games are a lot of fun when you get all of your frontline custodians all playing a game at one time. And it's really interesting that people say, oh, we can't get everybody together. But this game does it every single time. It's a great lot of fun. So, here's our 5 questions. We'll move through these fairly quickly, get you on out. What does the letter O stand for? Let's see if we can get these all together right, all at the same time, folks. 5 letters, 5 correct answers. Very good. Thank you for the good start. Corey's on the lead. Let's go on. What does the letter D stand for? Let's get it right. Quickly. Time's going to be up real quick. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Give yourself a good, that's 2 good starts. Corey, still on the lead. Let's go on. Letter I. Oh my gosh. 2 people ruined it for you. Don't show me your red X. I don't want to see it. Corey. Ooh. It's a small margin, Corey. That's getting pretty close. Letter A. Yes. Corey's still there. We got one more question. Letter M. And the winner is, oh, tell you what, give yourselves a round of applause. That was pretty good. I mean, everybody, we only missed one on the last 5 questions. That was pretty good. Okay. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Oh, what do you want to do? You want to see who wins it? Not yet. Not yet.
We're right back to our.
You have a flashback.
What I mean, that's just how it was. Then we hear that's just how it was.
You go get you went to the bathroom. You answered.
Right here, watch it.
Where's that thing looking at mine?
Go there.
Like that.
The manual that's up on the front table. And there's a Rockstar pin and well, I don't know. We're waiting for you. Okay. So, John, hold up the winner of the game is going to receive this manual. This is an autographed copy of the Rockstar Custodian book, and we're going to give you a Rockstar Custodian pin. And the winner is Paul.
Two heads better than one.
Oh, both of them?
No, I was doing the phone.
You doing the
Just as I close here, we are running a Rockstar nomination program for 2019 based on the criteria that you just went through. If you feel that you have a Rockstar custodian in your program, or even if you know somebody in another state, in another school district, and somewhere else, I want you to nominate them. What I need from you, there's a bowl up here, my business cards and some literature. I need your name and your email address, and I will send you the link so that you can nominate your Rockstar custodian. In January of this next year, we will name the Rockstar custodians. Now, you can't nominate yourself. Darn. However, there's going to be one for a Rockstar custodian Frontline and a Rockstar supervisor. Okay? Folks, there is only one way for the world to know who we are, and that's for us to talk. I hope this afternoon I've given you some of the criteria to help move you towards that, maybe help you retain the person that you have, or maybe help with who you're going to replace that person you lost. I thank you for your time this afternoon. I hope to come back and show everybody at your school the whole program. Thank you.